Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashatashmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashatashmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Mahabhagavat Shri Vakshadas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Shri Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasharaghunath Sharda Gosai Prabhu ki jai, Shri Swarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai, Nam Acharya Shri Hari Ras Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala ब्रज मंडल मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जय श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय श्री भक्ति देवी की जय श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Nam Sankirtan ki jai. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Namine Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Vanchakalpataru Vyascha Kripa Sindhaya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namaha Yang Pravrajantam Anupetam Apetya Krityam Dvaipayano Virahakatara Ajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravo Bhinedu Stang Sarva Bhuta Hridaya Munimanatosmi Narayanam Namaskritya Narang Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Shrindvatang Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridantasto Hyabhadrani Vidhunoti Suhrit Satam Nashta Prayeshvavadreshu Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvam Nayamang Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshai Kshiptashtakama Ditaranga Madhe Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanarvindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Dandavat pranams Gargaraj ji, Rohit Radhakrishnan ji, Madhavi Didi, Savitri Didi, Raseshwari Mataji, Pradyumna Prabhu, Mantaramurti Mataji. Yeah, finally, it's been a while you've been able to make it on time. And Haribol, Dandavat pranams Rup Manjari Didi. Haribo Champak Didi. All right, so what did we read yesterday? Paraśurāma, the Lord's warrior incarnation. So Shukadeva Goswami, having described the story of Pururava, describes the descendants of Pururava in this chapter. So now here's all the descendants of Pururava, the lineage of Bhima, the lineage of Gadhi. So from Gadhi through Savitri, she gave birth to Jamadagni, whose son was Paraśurāma. Okay. Gadhi's daughter, let's see, one second. Okay. Gadhi's daughter was Satyavati, whom sage Richika requested from Gadhi to be his wife. Gadhi regarded Richika as unfit, and so he asked him to give an uncommon dowry of 1,000 shining white horses, each having one black ear, either on the right or left. Richika could understand Gadhi's mind. He then went to Varuna and brought back the 1,000 horses and married Satyavati. Thereafter, Richika's wife and mother-in-law both desired a son. So Richika prepared 2 sacrificial oblations of rice, one for his wife with a Brahman mantra, and another for his mother-in-law with a kṣatriya mantra. Then he went out to bathe. Meanwhile, Satyavati's mother thought that the oblation prepared for her daughter must be better, and so she asked for it. Satyavati gave her own oblation to her mother and ate her mother's oblation herself. When Richika returned, he understood what had happened and said to his wife, "Your son will be a fierce kshatriya who punishes everyone, and your brother will be the best of Brahmins, a learned scholar in spiritual science." Satyavati pacified Richika and requested that her son not become a kshatriya. Richika said, "Then your grandson will be a kshatriya. He would be Lord Paraśurāma." Thus Satyavati gave birth to Jamadagni. Satyavati later became the sacred river Kaushiki to purify the world. Jamadagni married Renuka, the daughter of Renu. They had many sons. The youngest of them was Paraśurāma. Paraśurāma was an incarnation of Lord Vasudeva. He destroyed, but a Shaktavesh incarnation. He destroyed the dynasty of Kartavirya and killed the Kshatriyas on earth 21 times when they became 1. Too proud, 2. Apathetic to the principles of Brahmins, and 3. Covered by passion and ignorance, and 4. A burden on the earth. Parikshit Maharaj asked Shukadeva Goswami, "What was the offense of the Kshatriyas for which Lord Paraśurāma annihilated them repeatedly?" Shukadeva replied as follows. Kartavirya, the king of the Haihayas, received 1,000 arms by worshipping Lord Dattatreya. He was undefeatable. He was opulent with beauty, influence, strength, fame, and mystic power, and roamed all over the universe without opposition. Once, proud Kartavirya stopped the flow of the river Narmada with his arms, while enjoying in the water with women. The river flowed in the opposite direction and inundated the camp of Ravan, who was worshipping the Devatas near the city of Mahishmati. That's Kartavirya's capital. Intolerant 10-headed Ravan went to fight, but Kartavirya easily arrested Ravan just as one captures a monkey, and then releases him neglectfully. Once, while Kartavirya was hunting in a forest, he came to the residence of sage Jamadagni, who was performing austerities in that forest. Jamadagni suitably received the king, his soldiers as ministers. He arranged all necessities for them with his Kamadhenu cow that could supply everything. Seeing Jamadagni more opulent than himself, Kartavirya became envious and desired the jewel-like Kamadhenu cow that was meant for doing the Agnihotra sacrifice. Encouraged by proud Kartavirya, his men forcibly took away the Kamadhenu cow along with her calf, and they brought the cow and calf to Mahishmati. When Paraśurāma heard about Kartavirya's nefarious deed, he became as angry as a trampled snake. Taking up his fierce axe, shield, bow, and arrows, he chased Kartavirya just as a lion chases an elephant. Wow. Paraśurāma must be so fierce if if Kartavirya Arjuna just treated Ravan like what is it, like a monkey, captured monkey, and just released him neglectfully, and then but that Kartavirya Arjuna was even afraid of Paraśurāma. When Paraśurāma heard about seeing Paraśurāma in black deer skin with matted locks of hair that shone like the sun, Kartavirya Arjuna, who was entering his city, became fearful. He sent 17 Aukṣahinis of armies equipped with clubs, swords, arrows, and other weapons, and many elephants, chariots, and horses to fight against Paraśurāma. Remember, so he sent 17 Aukṣahinis, and one Aukṣahini consists as 21,870 chariots and elephants, 109,350 infantry soldiers, and 65,610 horses. Let's just see how many soldiers there are. Just gonna ask. What is it, 17? Okay. What's 109,350 times 17?
It's 1,858,950.
Okay, that's how many soldiers there were. That's not including the chariots and elephants and horses. It's just how many soldiers. 1,858,000. Man. Okay. So Lord Paraśurāma alone killed them all. At the speed of the winds and winds, he sliced off their legs, arms, and soldiers with his axe, and killed their drivers, carriers, elephants, and horses. The ground was filled with their blood. Infuriated, Kartavirya Arjuna rushed to the battlefield. Kartavirya Arjuna, with his 1,000 arms, fixed arrows on 500 bows to kill Paraśurāma. But Paraśurāma released enough arrows with only one bow to cut to pieces all the arrows and bows of Kartavirya Arjuna. Kartavirya Arjuna then uprooted many trees and hills and rushed towards Paraśurāma, who then cut off the arms of Kartavirya Arjuna with his axe. Paraśurāma then cut off the head of Kartavirya Arjuna. Kartavirya Arjuna's 10,000 sons all fled in fear. Then Paraśurāma brought back the Kamadhenu cow with her calf and gave her to Jamadagni and narrated his activities in Kartavirya Arjuna. Jamadagni spoke to Paraśurāma as follows. O great hero, you have unnecessarily killed the king, who is supposed to be the embodiment of all the demigods. My dear son, we are all Brahmins and have become worshipable for the people in general because of our quality of forgiveness. It is because of this quality that Brahma, the guru of this universe, has achieved his post. The duty of a Brahmin is to culture the quality of forgiveness, which is illuminating like sun. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is pleased with those who are forgiving. 1 second, just want to see who's messaging me. Okay. Killing an emperor is more sinful than killing a Brahmin. But by worshipping the holy places and by seeing Krishna conscious, by being Krishna conscious, you can atone for this great sin. There's a note here. The Lord endowed with Chit Shakti does not have to perform atonements, but he does so to teach the people. One who fully surrenders to the Lord is freed from all sins. Because an ordinary person cannot immediately surrender to the Lord, he is advised to go to holy places and find saintly persons and thus gradually be released from sinful reactions. Paraśurāma. All right, so let's begin. Sorry. Who's there? Hari Bol, Dandavat Pranams, Bhavatarani Mataji, and Nri Hari Prabhu, and Kishore Prabhu. Yeah, Prajumna Prabhu, I don't know how to do Vishwaksena Puja either. I think they do something in the mat here. No, they do Vishwakarma something or other. No, I can't remember what it is. No, it's Kartikeya. I can't remember. There's just one day where they bring out all the bicycles and all the motorbikes and whatever like things we have like that, the car, and they do puja. But who's that for? Oh God, I have such a bad memory. I've never really paid attention. Okay. Lord Paraśurāma destroys the world's ruling class. Chapter 16. Okay. When Jamadagni was killed by the sons of Kartavirya, as described in this chapter, Paraśurāma rid the entire world of kṣatriyas 21 times. This chapter also describes the descendants of Viśvāmitra. When Jamadagni's wife Renuka went to bring water from the Ganges and saw that the king of the Gandharvas enjoying the company of the Apsaras, so when she saw the king of the Gandharvas enjoying in the company of the Apsaras, she was captivated, and she slightly desired to associate with him. Because of this sinful desire, she was punished by her husband. Yikes! Paraśurāma killed his mother and brothers, but later, by dint of the austerities of Jamadagni, they were revived. The sons of Kartavirya, however, remembering the death of their father, wanted to take revenge against Lord Paraśurāma, and therefore, when Paraśurāma was absent from the ashram, they killed Jamadagni, who was meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Paraśurāma is definitely somebody you don't want to mess with, my God. When Paraśurāma returned to the ashram and saw his father killed, he was very sorry, and after asking his brothers to take care of the dead body, he went out with determination to kill all the kṣatriyas on the surface of the world. Taking up his axe, he went to Mahishmatipur, the capital of Kartavirya, and killed all of Kartavirya's sons, whose blood became a great river. Paraśurāma, however, was not satisfied with killing only the sons of Kartavirya. Later, when the kṣatriyas became disturbing, he killed them 21 times so that there were no kṣatriyas on the surface of the earth. Thereafter, Paraśurāma joined the head of his father to the dead body and performed various sacrifices to please the Supreme Lord. Thus, Jamadagni got life again in his body, and later he was promoted to the higher planetary system known as Saptarshi Mandal. Paraśurāma, the son of Jamadagni, still lived in Mahindra Parvat. In the next Manvantar, he will become a preacher of Vedic knowledge. In the dynasty of Gadi, the most powerful Viśvāmitra took birth. By dint of his austerity and penance, he became a Brahman. He had 101 sons who were celebrated as the Madhuchandas. In the sacrificial arena of Harishchandra, the son of Ajigartha, named Sunashepa, in the sacrificial arena of Harishchandra, the son of named Sunashepa was meant to be sacrificed, but by the mercy of the Prajapatis, he was released. Thereafter, he became Devarata in the dynasty of Gadi. The 50 elder sons of Viśvāmitra, however, did not accept Shunashepa as their elder brother, and therefore Viśvāmitra cursed them to become Malechas, unfaithful to Vedic civilization. Viśvāmitra's 51st son, along with his younger brothers, then accepted Shunashepa as their eldest brother, and their father Viśvāmitra, being satisfied, blessed them. Thus, Devarata was accepted in the dynasty of Kaushika, and consequently, there are different divisions of that dynasty. All right. Shri Shuka Uvacha. And I'm just curious, are we reading this full chapter today? I forgot. We are. Okay, but it's not as long. It's not nearly as long as yesterday. 5,597 words instead of 6,725. Oops. Let me just see if anything else. Okay. Pitropashikshito Ramas. Oh, and I didn't offer pranam to Indira Mataji. I forgot. She's going to be watching a bit later. She's not able to participate live, but she watches every time afterwards. Pitropashikshito Ramas tateti kurunandana samvatsarang tirtha yatram charitva shramamavrajat. Shukadev Goswami said, "My dear Parikshit, son of the Kuru dynasty, when Lord Paraśurāma was given this order by his father, he immediately agreed, saying, 'Let it be so.' For one complete year, he traveled to holy places. Then he returned to his father's residence. Kadachit Renuka Yata Gangayam Parmamalinam Gandharva Rajam Kridantam Apsaro Bhir Apashyata. Once, when Renuka, the wife of Jamadagni, went to the bank of the Ganges to get water, she saw the king of the Gandharvas decorated with a garland of lotuses and sporting in the Ganges with celestial women, with apsaras. Vilokayanti kridantam udakartam nadin gata Om velang nasasmara kinchit chitrarata spriha. She had gone to bring water from the Ganges, but when she saw Chitrarata, the king of the Gandharvas, sporting with the celestial girls, she was somewhat inclined toward him and failed to remember that the time for the fire sacrifice was passing. Kalatyayam tamvilokya mune shapa vishankita agatya kalasham tasto purodhaya kritanjali. Later, understanding that the time for offering the sacrifice had passed, Renuka feared a curse from her husband. Therefore, when she returned, she simply put the water pot before him and stood there with folded hands. I mean, it was the king of the Gandharvas. I bet if I saw it. Yeah, anyways, whatever. Vyavichara munir gyatva patnya prakupito bravit gnatainam putraka papam ityuktaste nachakrire. The great sage Jamadagni understood the adultery in the mind of his wife. Therefore, he was very angry and told his sons, "My dear sons, kill this sinful woman." But the sons did not carry out his order. Rama sanchodita pitra bratrin matra sadhavedhit prabhavagyo mune samyak samadhes tapasashchasa. Jamadagni then ordered his youngest son, Paraśurāma, to kill his brothers who had disobeyed his order, and his mother who had mentally committed adultery. Lord Paraśurāma, knowing the power of his father, who was practiced in meditation and austerity, killed his mother and brothers immediately. Yikes! Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The word prabhavagya is significant. Paraśurāma knew that the prowess of his father, he knew the prowess of his father, and therefore he agreed to carry out his father's order. He thought that if he refused to carry out the order, he would be cursed. But if he carried it out, his father would be pleased, and when his father was pleased, Paraśurāma would ask the benediction of having his mother and brothers be brought back to life. Paraśurāma was confident in this regard, and therefore he agreed to kill his mother and brothers. Varena chandayan asa prita satyavati sutta vavri hatanam ramopi jivitam chasmritim vade. Jamadagni, the son of Satyavati, was very much pleased with Paraśurāma and asked him to take any benediction he liked. Lord Paraśurāma replied, Let my mother and brothers live again and not remember having been killed by me. This is the benediction I ask." Yeah, that would be slightly awkward at the dinner table. Remember that time when I killed you? No. Utastuste kushalino nidrapaya ivanjasa pitur vidvangstapo viryam Ramaschakre suhridvadam. Thereafter, by the benediction of Jamadagni, Lord Paraśurāma's mother and brothers immediately came alive and were very happy, as if awakened from sound sleep. Lord Paraśurāma had killed his relatives in accordance with his father's order because he was fully aware of his father's power, austerity, and learning. Yerjunas. So I guess Jamadagni also, even though it was just supposed to be Paraśurāma who got the kṣatriya nature in him, Jamadagni had some of that in him as well. I mean, that's not very tolerant that his wife just thought something and he, yeah. Yerjunasya sutta rajan smaranta svapitur vadham ramavirya parabhuta lebhire sharmana kvachit. My dear King Parikshit, the sons of Kartavirya-Arjuna, who were defeated by the superior strength of Paraśurāma, never achieved happiness, for they always remembered the killing of their father. Purport. Jamadagni was certainly very powerful due to his austerities, but because of a slight offense by his poor wife, Renuka, he ordered that she be killed. This certainly was a sinful act, and therefore Jamadagni was killed by the sons of Kartavirya-Arjuna, as described herein. Lord Paraśurāma was also infected by sin because of killing Kartavirya-Arjuna, although this was not very offensive. Therefore, whether one be Kartavirya-Arjuna, Lord Paraśurāma, Jamadagni, or whoever one may be, one must act very cautiously and sagaciously. Is that how you say sagacious? Anyways. Otherwise, one must suffer the results of sinful activities. This is the lesson we receive from Vedic literature. So one must be very cautious to not kill anybody. Ekadashramato rame sabhratari vanam gate vairam shishadayishavo labdha chidra upagamam gaman. Once when Paraśurāma left the ashram for the forest with Vasuman and his elder brothers, the sons of Kartavirya-Arjuna took the opportunity to approach Jamadagni's residence to seek vengeance for their grudge. Is grudge kind of a light word? I always thought grudge was it could be. I guess it could be strong. Drishtvagnyagar asinam avishita dhiyam munim bhagavatuttama shloke jagnuste papanishchaya. The sons of Kartavirya-Arjuna were determined to commit sinful deeds. Therefore, when they saw Jamadagni sitting by the side of the fire to perform yajna and meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is praised by the best of selected prayers, they took the opportunity to kill him. Yachnamana shyamana kripanaya ramamatrati dharuna prasahya shira utkritya ninyusche te kṣatrabandhava. One second. How many? Okay, 37. With pitiable prayers, Renuka, the mother of Paraśurāma and the wife of Jamadagni, begged for the life of her husband. But the sons of Kartavirya-Arjuna, being devoid of the qualities of kṣatriyas, were so cruel that despite her prayers, they forcibly cut off his head and took it away. Renuka... My God, Jamadagni does not deserve that. Anyway, sorry, I shouldn't. Renuka dukha shokarta. I mean, he doesn't deserve Renuka being so sympathetic for him. My God, he had her killed. Renuka dukha shokarta nignantyatmanam atmana rama rameti tateti vichukrosho chakai sati. Lamenting in grief for the death of her husband, the most chaste Renuka struck her own body with her hands and cried very loudly, "O Ram, my dear son Ram!" Tarupa shrutya durasta harametyartavat svanam tvarayashramamasadya tadrishu pitaram hatam. Although the sons of Jamadagni, including Lord Paraśurāma, were a very long distance from home, as soon as they heard Renuka loudly calling, "O Ram, my son," they hastily returned to the ashram, where they saw that their father was already killed. They started construction. Should I close the window? I'm going to close the window. Wait 1 second. I'm back. Te dukkha, okay. Te dukkha roshamarshārti shoka vega vimohita hatata sadadharmishta tyaktva svargato bhavan. Virtually bewildered by grief, anger, indignation, affliction, and lamentation, the sons of Jamadagni cried, "O Father, most religious, saintly person, you have left us and gone to the heavenly planets." Viśvāmitra pitur deham nidhaya brashtrishu swayam pragrihya Paraśurāma kṣatriyas manodadhe. Thus lamenting, Lord Paraśurāma entrusted his father's dead body to his brothers and personally took up his axe, having decided to put an end to all the kṣatriyas on the surface of the world. Yeah, responsible for that, right? Gatva mahishmatim ram brahmogna vihatashyam tesham sashir. O king, Lord Paraśurāma then Mati, which was already doomed by the sinful killing of a Brahman. In the midst of that city, he made a mountain of heads from the bodies of the sons of Kartavirya Arjuna. Tadraktena nadim ghoram abhramanya bhayavaham hetum kritva pritri padham kṣatre mangalakarini trisapta kritva prithvim kritva nikṣatriyam prabhu samanta panchake chakre shonito danhradanava. With the blood of the bodies of these sons, Lord Paraśurāma created a ghastly river which brought great fear to the kings who had no respect for Brahminical culture. Because the kṣatriyas, the men of power and government, were performing sinful activities, Lord Paraśurāma, on the plea of retaliating for the murder of his father, rid all the kṣatriyas from the face of the earth 21 times. Indeed, in the place known as Samanta Panchaka, he created 9 lakes filled with their blood. I have a question though. If all the kṣatriyas on the earth were killed, then how would more kṣatriyas be born? Like, who would give birth to more kṣatriyas? Anyways, purport. Paraśurāma is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his eternal mission is paritranaya sadhanam vinashaya chadushkritam, to protect the devotees and annihilate the miscreants. To kill all the sinful men is among the tasks of the incarnation of Godhead. Lord Paraśurāma killed all the kṣatriyas 21 times consecutively because they were disobedient to the Brahminical culture. That the kṣatriyas had killed his father was only a plea. The real fact is that because the kṣatriyas, the ruling class, had become polluted, their position was inauspicious. Brahminical culture is enjoined in the Shastras, especially in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvana Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. According to the laws of nature, whether at the time of Paraśurāma or at the present, if the government becomes irresponsible and sinful, not caring for Brahminical culture, there will certainly be an incarnation of God like Paraśurāma to create the devastation by fire, famine, pestilence, or some other calamity. I don't know what pestilence means. A fatal epidemic disease. Oh, like COVID. Corona. Whenever the government disrespects the supremacy of this personality of Godhead and fails to protect the institution of Varnashram Dharma, it will certainly have to face such catastrophes as formerly brought about by Lord Paraśurāma. Pitu kayena sandhaya shira adhaya barhishi sarvadeva mayang devam atmanam ayajanmakai. Thereafter, Paraśurāma joined his to the dead body and placed the whole body and head upon kusha grass. By offering sacrifices, he began to worship Lord Vasudeva, who is the all-pervading supersoul of all the demigods and of every living entity. Tado prachim disham hotre brahmane dakshinam disham advaryave pratichimvai udgatre uttaram disham. Once again. Anyevo vantara disha kashapaya chamadhyata aryavartam upadrashtre sadasebhyastata param. After completing the sacrifice, Lord Paraśurāma gave the eastern direction to the Hota as a gift. Who's the Hota? Okay, the priest known as the Hota. Okay, so he gave the eastern direction to the priest known as the Hota as a gift. South to the Brahma, the west to the Advaryu, the north to the Udgata, and the four corners, northeast, southeast, northwest, and southwest, to the other priests. He gave the middle to Kashyapa, and the place known as Aryavarta to the Upadrashta. Whatever remained, he distributed among the Sadasyas, the associate priests. Purport. The tract of land in India between the Himalaya mountains and the Vindhya hills is called Aryavarta. Tatashchava bhrita snana vidhutashtesha kilbisha saraswatyam mahanadyam rejivyabhra ivam shuman. Thereafter, having completed the ritualistic sacrificial ceremonies, Lord Paraśurāma took the bath known as Avabhrita Snan. Standing on the bank of the great river Saraswati, cleared of all sins, Lord Paraśurāma appeared like the sun in a clear, cloudless sky. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.9, Yagyartad kamanun yatra loko yam karma bandhana. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work binds one to this material world. Karma bandhana refers to the repeated acceptance of one material body after another. The whole problem of life is the repetition of birth and death. Therefore, one is advised to work to perform yajna meant for satisfying Lord Vishnu. Although Lord Paraśurāma was an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he had to account for sinful activities. Anyone in this material world, however careful he may be, must commit some sinful activities, even though he does not want to. For example, one may trample many small ants and other insects while walking on the street, and kill many living beings unknowingly. Therefore, the Vedic principle of Pancha Yajna, 5 kinds of recommended sacrifice, is compulsory. In this age of Kali, however, there is a great concession given to people in general. Yajna Sankirtana Prayar Yajanti Hi Sumedasa. We may worship Lord Chaitanya, the hidden incarnation of Krishna. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam. Although he is Krishna himself, he always chants Hare Krishna and preaches Krishna consciousness. One is recommended to worship this incarnation by chanting the Sankirtan Yajna. The performance of Sankirtan Yajna is a special concession for human society to save people from being affected by known or unknown sinful activities. We are surrounded by unlimited sins, and therefore it is compulsory that one take to Krishna consciousness and chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Sadeham jamadagnistu labdva sangyana lakshanam rishinam mandale sobhut saptamo ramapujita. Thus Jamadagni, being worshipped by Lord Paraśurāma, was brought back to life with full remembrance, and he became one of the 7 sages in the group of 7 stars. Purport. The 7 stars revolving around a pole star at the zenith are called the Saptarshi Mandal. On these 7 stars, which form the topmost part of our planetary system, reside 7 sages, Kashyapa, Atri, Vasishtha, Viśvāmitra, and Gautama. Jamadagni and Bharadwaj. These 7 stars are seen every night, and they each make a complete orbit around the pole star within 24 hours. Along with these 7 stars, all the other stars also orbit from east to west. The upper portion of the universe is called the north, and the lower portion is called the south. Even in our ordinary dealings while studying a map, we regard the upper portion of the map as north. Jamadagnopi Bhagavan Ramakamala Agaminyantare Rajan Vartayishyati Vaibrihat. My dear King Parikshit, in the next Manvantar, the lotus-eyed personality of Godhead, Lord Paraśurāma, the son of Jamadagni, will be a great propounder of Vedic knowledge. In other words, he'll be one of the 7 sages. Aste Dyapi Mahindradro Nyasta Danda Prashantadhi Upagiya Mana Charita Siddha Gandharva Charanai. Lord Paraśurāma still lives as an intelligent Brahmin in the mountainous country known as Mahendra. Completely satisfied, having given up all the weapons of kṣatriya, he is always worshipped, adored, and offered prayers for his exalted character and activities by such celestial beings as the Siddhas, Charanas, and Gandharvas. Evam Brigushu Viśvāmitra Bhagavan Haririshvara Avatirya Paramparam Bhuvoham Bahusho Nripan. In this way, the Supreme Soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord and the Supreme Controller, descended as an incarnation in the Bhrigu dynasty and released the universe from the burden of undesirable kings by killing them many, many times. Gadirabhun Mahateja Samidha Iva Pavaka Tapasa Kshatramutsrija Yolebe Brahmamo Varchasam. Viśvāmitra, the son of Maharaj Gadi, was as powerful as the flames of fire. From the position of a kṣatriya, he achieved the position of a powerful Brahmin by undergoing penances and austerities. Purport. Now, having narrated the history of Lord Paraśurāma, Shukadeva Goswami begins the history of Viśvāmitra. From the history of Paraśurāma, we can understand that although Paraśurāma belonged to the Brahminical group, he circumstantially had to work as a kṣatriya. Later, after finishing his work as a kṣatriya, he again became a Brahmin to Mahendra Parvat. Similarly, we can see that although Viśvāmitra was born in a kṣatriya family, by austerities and penances, he achieved the position of a Brahmin. These histories confirm the statements in Shastra that a Brahmin may become a kṣatriya, and a kṣatriya may become a Brahmin or Vaishya, and a Vaishya may become a Brahmin by achieving the required qualities. One's status does not depend upon birth. As stated in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 7.11.35 by Narad, Yasya yal lakshanam proktam pungso varna bhivyanjakam yad anyatrapi drishyeta tat tenaiva vinirdashet. If one shows the symptoms of being a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, even if he has appeared in a different class, he should be accepted according to those symptoms of classification. To know who is a Brahmin and who is a Kshatriya, one must consider a man's quality and work. If all the unqualified Shudras become so-called Brahmins and Kshatriyas, social order will be impossible to maintain. Thus, there are discrepancies. Human society will turn into a society of animals, and the situation all over the world will be hellish. Viśvāmitrasya chaivasan putra eka shatam nripa madhyamastu madhu chanda chandasa evate. O kingship, Viśvāmitra had 100 sons, of whom the middle one was known as Madhu Chanda. In relation to him, all the other sons were celebrated as the Madhu Chandas. So one was known as Madhu Chanda and others was known as Madhu Chandas. Purport. In this connection, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes the statement from the Vedas. Tasyaha Viśvāmitrasyaika shatam putra asu panchashasha Pashad Eva Jayangsho Madhuchandasya Panchashat Kaniyangsha. Viśvāmitra had 101 sons. 50 were older than Madhuchanda and 50 younger. So he had more sons after this. Putram krita shunashepam devaratam cha bhargavam ajikartam sutan aha jeshta esha prakalpyatam. Viśvāmitra accepted the son of Ajigartha known as Shunashepa, who was born in the Bhrigu dynasty and was also known as Devarata, one of his own sons. Viśvāmitra ordered his other sons to accept Shunashepa as their eldest brother. He must be pretty old. Sorry, guys, I'm starting to fall asleep all of a sudden. Let me stand up just for these last verses. Yo vai Harishchandra make vikrita purusha pashu stutva devam prajeshadin. 1 second. Mumuche pashabandhanat. Shunashepa's father told Shunashepa to be sacrificed as a man animal in the yajna of King Harishchandra. When Shunashepa was brought to the sacrificial arena, he prayed to the demigods for release and was released by their mercy. Purport. Here's a description of Shunashepa. When Harishchandra was to sacrifice his son Rohita, Rohita arranged to save his own life by purchasing Shunashepa from Shunashepa's father to be sacrificed in the yajna. Shunashepa was sold to Maharaj Harishchandra because he was the middle son, between the oldest and the youngest. It appears that the sacrifice of a man as an animal in yajna has been practiced for a very long time. Yikes. Yo rato devaya jane devargadhishu tapasa devarata iti khyata shunashepastu bhargava. Although Shunashepa was born in the Bhargava dynasty, he was greatly advanced in spiritual life, and therefore the demigods involved in the sacrifice protected him. Consequently, he was also celebrated as a descendant of Gadhi named Devarata. Ye madhu chandaso jeshta kushala meni natat ashapatan muni krudho mlecha bhavat dojana. When requested by their father to accept Shunashepa as the eldest son, the elder 50 of the Madhuchandas, the sons of Viśvāmitra, did not agree. Therefore, Viśvāmitra, being angry, cursed them. He cursed his own sons. May all of you bad sons become mlechas, he said, being opposed to the principles of Vedic culture. In the Vedic literature, there are names like Mlecha and Yavan. The Mlechas are understood to be those who do not follow the Vedic principles. In former days, the Mlechas were fewer, and Viśvāmitra cursed his sons to become Mlechas. But in the present age, Kali Yuga, there is no need of cursing, for people are automatically Mlechas. This is only the beginning of Kali Yuga, but at the end of Kali Yuga, the entire population will consist of Mlechas, because no one will follow the Vedic principles. At that time, the incarnation of Kalki will appear. Mlecha nivahani dane kalayasi karabalam. He will kill all the Mlechas indiscriminately with his sword. Sahovacha madhuchanda sardam panchas shatatata yanno bhavan sajanite tasmings tishta mahevayam. Better check that, just in case it's something with my... No. When the elder Madhuchandas were cursed, the younger 50, along with Madhuchanda himself, approached their father and agreed to accept his proposal. Dear father, they said, we shall abide by whatever arrangement you like. Jeshta mantra drisham chakrus tam anvacho vayam smahi Viśvāmitra sutan aha viravanto bhavishyata Ye manam me nugrinanto viravantam akartamam. Thus the younger Madhuchandas accepted Shunashepa as their eldest brother and told him, "We shall follow your orders." Viśvāmitra then said to his obedient sons, "Accepted Shunashepa as your eldest brother, I am very satisfied. By accepting my order, you have made me a father of worthy sons, and therefore I bless all of you to become the fathers of sons also." Purport. Of the 100 sons, half disobeyed Viśvāmitra by not accepting Shunashepa as their eldest brother, but the other half accepted his order. Therefore, the father blessed the obedient sons to become the fathers of sons. Otherwise, they too would have been cursed to be sonless mlechas. Eshava kushika viro devaratas tamandvita anye chashtakaharta jayakratu maradaya. Viśvāmitra said, "O Kushikas, descendants of Kaushika, this Devarata is my son and is one of you. Please obey his orders." O King Parikshit, Viśvāmitra had many other sons, such as Ashtak, Harita, Jaya, and Kratuman. Evam Kaushika Gotram tu Viśvāmitrai Prutag Vidam Pravarantaram Apannam Tavam Prakalpitam. Viśvāmitra cursed some of his sons and blessed the others, and he also adopted a son. Thus there are varieties in the Kaushika dynasty, but among all the sons, Devarata was considered the eldest. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 9th canto, 16th chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled, Lord Paraśurāma Destroys the World's Ruling Class. So let's see, what are we going to read tomorrow? The dynasties of the sons of Pururava. Tomorrow's going to be a lot more dynasty, a lot more names. My God, look at all that. And we're also going to read chapter 18. How much of chapter 18 are we going to read? Let me just check. Chapter... Okay. Yeah, so we'll read the first 23 verses of chapter 18. Right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Yes, Kishore. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shmar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shmar Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shmar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatarashata Shmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishtam Mahabhagavat Srila Goksharas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nitila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jeev Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath Shar Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Bhadata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund ki jai. Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Vrindai Tulsi Dev Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Padate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Let's see, where are we in the book? Oh, we haven't been looking at pictures this whole time. Chapter 16. Oh, all right. So we just finished book 2, and now we'll be beginning book 3, which is the last book of the 9th canto. And let's see, actually, you want to see how many more days it's going to be till we finish? Let's check it out. I divided it all. Let's see, how did I divide it? Okay, so we just finished chapter 16, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 days until we finish the 9th canto. And then we'll begin the 10th canto. All right, Dandavat pranams, everybody. Hari Bol.